Okay. Task 1 was to create the optimized shader. So here we just have the multiplication between the position and the world product. And in DXApp, the calculation happens outside on the CPU. And there's the cube. Okay. Task 2 is to show the 5 objects and have, what was the requirement? To pre-compute the worldview projection before sending it over. So here are the 5 objects, and then the one calculation for the worldview projection is over here. So we send that as a parameter, and then I create another one called position offset so that the 5 objects would be in a different position. And over here is where the offset happens. So let's see that in action. There's the 5 objects. Task 3 was the pyramid texture. So over here is where I put the UV mapping for the texture. And there's the pyramid. Okay. Task 4 was the box with 6 faces. So I kind of graphed it out and found the points between 0 and 1 to get each face. So I put that into the UV mapping. And there's the box. Okay. Task 5 was the shader texture. So I used the header file to help me, and then I filled out the functions. And then in DXApp, I updated it to use the shader texture. And there it is. Okay, so I think that was all the tasks for this week. Yes. And next we have the further work, which was to run the texturing demo with the different textures. So I'll just talk about each one. So with this one, this one wasn't too surprising. I just saw the crate with this face on each side. I did run a version with point and one with linear, and I still can't really see the difference with that one. I know in lecture we said, or you said one of them was clearer, but yeah, I can tell. For cube faces, I saw a box with this face on each side, and that's because that's what the map is set to with the 0 through 1 coordinates instead of the other coordinates that we had in task, what was it, task 3? Task 4. For this one, I saw magnification because this texture was only 2 pixels by 2 pixels, and in linear mode, I showed up blurry because of these edges were blended, and in point, we see it as sharp. This was also the texture where I could see clamp versus wrap, because for wrap, the edges blended on the side, and for clamp there was like a straight line. For this one, for this texture, and I think the other ones that weren't test 2, it was the example of the minification, because the texture is bigger than what it's mapped to. So this one I did explore with the point versus linear, and saw one of them, the edges were kind of jagged, and the other one, the edges are still jagged, but they were a little smoother. That was for linear, I think. Yeah. Okay. And further work 2, I moved in the performance test code, the matrix one, and that one was, where are they? So I ran the tests with the optimized shader and the non-optimized shader. So this one was not optimized, meaning we did the calculation for world view projection on the GPU, and this one was optimized. And I guess there is a difference in draw scene. Yeah, I'm not really sure how to use the other information, but yeah, I noticed that like sun world color over here was smaller than here. But I don't know. But since we don't do this calculation, I guess this is faster because it's 22 versus whatever 16 plus 18% is. And that's all for, that's all for this week. Thanks.